Since it's a nice morning, other than the bugs, nice temperature and quite clear, I thought and I got it with me, I thought I'd just give the little UMX ICON another try off the grass. Have not actually changed anything with this guy. I didn't put the wheels back on him because he won't take off the grass with the wheels anyway. I could put the wheels on and take him off the table, but then, then he would just tend to tip over when he lands on the grass. He's a little tricky to take off the grass because of the high line of thrust. I've put plastic over the front of the, to try and cover over that connection for the wheel to stop that sticking in the grass. But it's still a tricky business getting him to move over the grass.
High rates.
And he's delicate, this is the problem. You don't want to be trying to push him with the top there because that's just so delicate, it'll break. If you're going to push him with anything, you want to push him with a vertical stabilizer because the horizontal stabilizer is extremely thin and delicate. And as you can see, honestly, he's a nice flyer. He flies well. He flies well and he takes off water quite well, which is really what he's meant for. But trying to take him off without the wheels, well, you're not going to take him off with the wheels on the grass either. There's no way you're going to take him off with the little wheels on the grass. He wouldn't move at all. You can take him off a table, fine, with the wheels. And I imagine you could take him off smooth asphalt with the wheels. Probably need to be pretty smooth, even in terms of asphalt, because they're pretty tiny wheels. But has AS3X... still in high rates, because I put him in high rates to take off. Ooh, can't see him very well when you get him that far away, can you? You don't want to let planes this small get too far away, because even though the visibility is by, the standards you'd expect, it's excellent this morning, really, it's clear, there's no real mist near us, still, he's a small plane. You start to lose sight of him. I actually I think the icons look kind of nice. I've got this one and the 1.3 meter one. I think they look kind of nice in the air and they fly pretty well. Quite controllable.
Time remaining 5 minutes.
Not much wind at all now, that's the other thing. I mean, there's a little slight breeze, but... slight movement of air, but that's about it. I don't know what she said there, but I'm sure we got time yet. I mean, we're not had him up long. I think that, they fly quite nicely, these icons, and they work well on the water on the whole. They're surprisingly enough quite easy to steer on the water, even without the water rudder. Give them a little bit of throttle, I guess, because you're getting a good, with the high propeller, the high pusher propeller like that, I guess you're getting a lot of airflow over the rudder if you... so long as you give them a bit of throttle. So they steer actually quite well on the water. Even though they don't have a water rudder. I don't know whether the real ones do or not, but neither the UMX one nor the 1.3 meter one has any kind of water rudder, but you don't really need it. They steer quite well on the water. Well, I haven't tried to fly them off water in wind. I don't like flying off water in a lot of wind, and we've been fortunate enough...
4 minutes.
4 minutes. We've been fortunate enough to have pretty low wind conditions at both the float flies I've been to recently, where I had this guy and the other icon out. Had this guy and the other icon out at both of the 2 recent float flies, and they both flew well off water both times. I was very happy with them. I was very happy with the way they both flew off water, basically. This guy was skipping around a bit when I took him off the last time. I did wonder if that plastic I've got on the front, it may have created a bit of a rough edge at the front, which is, although it's smoothing out for the grass, if the nose really got pushed down into the water, it may have scooped a bit of water, because he jumped. He kangarooed a wee bit as I throttled him up on the water, but no big problem. He took off okay. He smoothed out and took off okay.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
You need a little bit. It was nice to have a bit of height for a loop, because I came out of that loop lower than I went into it. He doesn't have like massive elevator authority. I had pretty much full up elevator on there, but you still come out the loop a little lower than you go into it, so you don't want to be going into the loop when you're too low to the ground. It depends. Some planes, if you've got enough throttle and enough up elevator, you can. Some planes you can even come out of a loop higher than you started. If you give them more, if they've got lots of up elevator and you give them more up elevator as you're coming down. But this guy, I think he would be very hard pressed. Now maybe if you give him less up elevator on the up part, so you climbed more, you might be able to do it. Might be possible to come out of the loop higher than you went in. Anyway, we should probably just bring him in again now. I don't know. I've been, I don't believe they sell this guy anymore. Not the micro one. I think they still sell the 1.3 meter one as in bind and fly and plug and play, but this guy I don't think they sell anymore. I don't believe so. In fact, I've had offers for this one actually because people want them. That wasn't a great landing, was it? I was a bit concerned about where I was going there, and bobbing up and down trying to make up my mind.
Throttle cut on.
Oh dear. One certainly wouldn't have wanted to do that on the water. But I don't think it's any great harm on the grass. There. Nice little plane, really, basically.
Throttle cut off.
So I think that's partially why it steers so well on the water, because you've got your propellers right there just blowing tons of air over the rudder, and it's got a fair-sized rudder, so it doesn't do a bad job of steering on the water. The UMX ICON.